Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's time for some more Burning Wheel. All right, Lodowick. Everything's going to shit. Let's see if you can salvage some. You got some stuff? Come on, you got plans? You're going to save the kingdom, right?
Sure.
Yeah. All right. Lodowick saves everything. Let's do it. So, Lodowick, you have one like goal that you can pursue, and I imagine Lodowick is the kind of person who like tries to keep busy when there are things that are out of his control, right? Like,
Yes.
Katerina has promised that she's working stuff out, and your new friend Mr. Vasilev is, out in discussing things with your close friends, starting with your household, looking for security leaks, because there is this idea that maybe somebody is like letting people know where you're going to be and like helped the Chernaya kidnap your sister. And while yes, you are feeling bad about her absence, the money's got to move, right? You got to keep shit going. So
I do.
what do you want to do? Should we see if you can set up a meeting with Ilka Strobila?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's do that.
That feels like a thing that you can pursue, and it ties into the other situations that are going on in the game, so that'll help keep you attached to it while you wait for other things to go on.
Yes.
Okay, so I guess in this case, how do you do that? How do you get this person's attention, and what do you want them to do? How do you want to set this up?
Okay. So I would like to have a nice meeting with them. Well. Do I want to have it at my house, which is now terrifying?
Well, it depends on if you want to intimidate this person. Why, Lodowick? What nice goons you have.
Yes, I do. I don't feel safe at the moment. So this is a good place to do it.
Okay.
I will send them a very polite letter to discuss business. Yeah, I don't think it really needs to be anything more complicated than that.
Okay. Yeah, just like I have a business proposition for you. You're a business
Yes.
person.
Yes, we
Okay.
can do businesses.
All right. You can make an appropriate wise as a linked test and then do a circles test.
I will make an appropriate wise as a linked test. Let's have a merchant wise test.
I was wondering, yeah, I figured merchant wise was the one. Okay. Yeah. Ob 2, merchant wise.
Okay.
And then for the circles test, you'll have all of the power of the because we know this person isn't in the Seeds of Silver, right?
No. Yes.
But they might want to be.
Yeah. In my merchant wise test, I'm going to fork in supply wise and commodities wise because I know that they deal in commodities and are a supplier.
Yeah. And how are you delivering this invitation? Is it
Handwritten letter?
You're writing them a letter? Okay.
Yep.
So you could fork a write into it.
I'm going to fork in writing because I can write.
You're writing it yourself.
Yeah.
Wow. Two successes on 6 dice is not great, but you got it. Any of those 6s? No. Okay. So it's not a penalty or a bonus.
That's a shame.
But that's okay. You got lots of dice to help out with this. So this person, we'll treat them, because you did all those other rolls. We'll treat them as if they like not they're not someone you've circled before, but I'll treat them as more familiar than I normally would because somebody kind of did the introduction already. They put the information in front of you. So let's say ob 3. I don't think they're unusual in any particular way, unless you would like to specify something about them, because we haven't seen them yet, unless you'd like to specify something unusual about them to increase the ob.
I think that what could be interesting about this person?
Yeah, I'm thinking particularly of the disposition and character knowledge. So like you can add a qualification to the character you're looking for, right? Having special knowledge, particularly loyal. In this case, this could be like someone who's desperate to be a member of the Seeds of Silver.
Right. Yeah, let's go with that, I think.
Okay. All right. So I think pretty much every merchant wants to be part of a guild, and the Seed of Silver is a fairly big deal one. But this person, like she particularly is like vulnerable to wanting to be in it. So we'll say the ob, increase the ob by 1, and in exchange, she's like, you know you have something that she wants.
Perfect. In which case.
So that's ob 4 then total.
Ob 4 versus.
What's your circles?
4.
Okay.
I'm just thinking, do I want to use my reputation or affiliation, or should I take the challenging test and have 5 circles?
Yeah, it's a good question. Chances are, like I'll tell you now, if you fail, it's just enmity. I'm not going to be like, she doesn't want to meet with you, because you got a belief. So this would be like, she shows up and she's like, I've heard about you, Lodovic, and like she's being courted by someone else, and so she has a negative disposition towards you despite her desperation. It'll make the negotiations more difficult, but you will increase your, you have that chance to increase it.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's do it.
Okay.
Modifiers 0. Base obstacle 4.
Okay.
How are we doing? Fate and persona.
If you spend a persona, you'll still get the test.
I will, but it's still incredibly unlikely.
Yes, it is very unlikely.
It's not good use of persona strategically. No.
Okay, not so much. So
not so much. I'll take that 5 circles.
You get a return letter from her, and she, I guess technically she's like a lady because she was born noble, so she's one of several lady Strobele, but she responds very politely, like I would love to visit your home and have a drink with you and discuss this business matter, and it comes back just like perfectly polite, and and so she definitely will come. And so I guess we start with that. Set the scene for me, Ludwig. What is this the specific like place where you meet with her, and what is it like? Is this a meal? Is this drinks? Is this what?
Yeah, I invite her for a nice dinner at my place, and I've had a chef come by and make something extra nice.
Okay.
Grease the wheels.
Yeah. Right. Yes. Okay.
Cooking.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So you've had someone come in and prepare a meal.
Yeah.
All right. And and so you've like she's been brought in. She's been passed through security, and then she's introduced to you. Did you meet her in another room and like talk a bit first before you go to dinner, or where's the first place that she like interacts with you?
Nah, I'll invite her straight to the table to sit down and eat while we talk.
Okay.
Having a waiting room is very bougie, and we're not about that.
Right. Which is ironically what she would expect. So she's a little off balance. Okay. All right. So this lady Strobele, Ilka, is not like she's not rich enough to have like noble garb, but also like the Strobele don't seem like they dress that way, really. Like they're all pretty down to earth. So she's wearing muted like sort of nut brown garb. And I think many of the women in her house, they've eschewed like wearing dresses. They all kind of dress in traditionally like masculine clothes. We saw this on her cousin, right, in court.
Yeah.
So her clothes are like nice, but they're not like noble court nice. She has maybe one or two pieces of jewelry, like a couple of simple rings. She is probably of how old are you, Ludwig? 39?
38.
38. Okay, so she's almost a decade younger than you. She's like probably 30.
Yeah.
Um, and she doesn't come with like a bodyguard or an attendant or anything. And we see her enter the room, and she looks around and she sees you. And she is she's Carpathian. They all are. So she's taller than you. And also may or may not have pious and violent as her traits, but that's the culture she was raised in. And she has the sort of dusky skin, like Slavic cheekbones, and I think she has dark hair, but it's starting to gray, like kind of early around the temples, and she has it done up in a fancy but practical style. So just to kind of keep it out of the way, she's not here for like a fancy dinner. She's here to meet with like a business associate. So she looks nice, but not done up. Yeah, and so she's led in, and she looks around, and what do you do? You're here to like greet her.
Ah, yes. Lady Strabler. I very much appreciate that you were able to find time in your, I'm sure, very busy schedule to entertain me in my humble home.
Please call me Ilka. She puts a hand out.
Okay. Yes. I see that you haven't brought anyone with you. This gives me little bit of concern.
Should I have?
Only if
Am I in
you.
danger, Mr. Axter?
Everyone here is in danger. Not in my house, but in the kingdom.
Hmm.
First time.
Life is dangerous, Mr. Axter, and it's good for my business. And you do notice while she's talking, like she does have a weapon. She has a sword on her. And I don't know, maybe you don't know maybe that much about like crafting swords, but we can all tell it's a real nice one. Nice in the sense of like well crafted. Like obviously she's got to carry around a good looking weapon if she's a weapons dealer. She's got to look like she knows what she's doing.
Right. It's like, oh, well, I'm glad that nothing has given cause for you to up the security. As no doubt I've had to recently after some difficult events that we're currently dealing with.
Carpathia breeds hard men and women. I understand it's different where you're from, Mr. Axter, but here we grow up welcoming the cold. This winter's just been longer than most. It will pass. They always do.
Very well. It's a refreshing outlook. Speaking of refreshing,
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So, yeah, she looks and she says, I must admit, I'm starving. And she, which is kind of like a bad joke, I guess, if you're aware of the whole episode, because she definitely isn't, but there are people who are. And so she sits down, and the two of you set into the sort of first course, and she says, I have to admit, Mr. Axter, your reputation gets ahead of you. I've heard through merchants talk. Wine makes for loose tongues. I expected you might reach out to me.
well, I'm glad to see that you're somebody who is capable of keeping abreast of the current situations. It would be of no use to us if you were not.
These are very interesting times, and Carpathians deal with interesting things usually by stabbing them, so business has been good.
Yes. Well, I believe they could be better.
You have to understand, and I don't mean to be rude, Mr. Axter, but my house has a contract with the crown. Everything I make goes to them.
Yes, I'm aware. It's a contract that I would be interested in owning. I'll be straight with you.
And she squints at you like she's not sure which end of the contract that you're talking about. She says, we've been in business with the crown for generations. Our swords have armed the Green Mantle Company for almost as long as they've existed. I'm afraid you don't understand. This is more than just business. It's tradition, Mr. Axter.
And I would not ask you to break tradition. I would just like to make sure that the crown is reminded of whom they owe their security to.
You suggest playing a dangerous game, sir. Yes, it's basic business that when one needs swords the most, one charges the most for them, but
Please do not misunderstand me. I ask you here because I want to promote safety and security in the country. While it may be good for your business generally, it has not been as good as for mine. And I'm trying to rectify that situation.
and what exactly is your business, Mr. Exter? You have to understand, we're a bit of a backward country. You see, in Carpathia, merchants sell things that craftsfolk make. Nobles have money to buy these things, and they use them in the employment of farming or construction. It's a cycle, but I'm not sure what it is that you and your people do exactly besides get rich by being rich. Maybe you can enlighten me.
I certainly could enlighten you. In fact, I would love to enlighten you by giving you a small sample of what it is like to become rich off of what must seem at times intangible goods and services. That's why I called you here. I'm going to make a nice deal. We're going to go into business together, and you will reap the profits of circumventing such basic systems as supply and demand.
You seem very sure of yourself. Where's all this confidence come from? These are times of lean. Even the crown is running out of gold, all locked away as it is.
Well, suffice it to say that your business in particular is something that I do have experience with, just not in this country. I did things before I was here in Carpathia.
She nods. So you're familiar with the arms trade, then?
Intimately.
As it currently stands in Carpathia, weapons go in one of two directions. They're either sold to the crown to arm the Green Mantle Company, which I and my business handle, or they're sold to leave the country to arm our men fighting in Stygia. As you can imagine, the export business hasn't been great lately. I've managed to expand somewhat. Some exporters have become internal business. Things are going well for me. If you have an offer or think that you can improve on my lot, you're going to have to do very well, I think.
Yes, I understand you've been doing well, as has this person, this other person, person. I know what I'm talking about. I paid a bunch for this research.
Totally. Yeah. Make a link test here. Like let's do a link test where you're just like, listen, I know my shit. Let me explain how. Because you make a link test now, and then the success or failure will go into whatever you end up doing to persuade her.
Yes, I would love to make an administration test, which is collation of all the information I've got.
Absolutely.
Do I have an advantage die from my?
Yes, because you're not just doing it with your brain.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the up going to be?
Let me take a look at an administration and see if there's any suggestions here.
That's a good shot.
Okay, let's see. Oh, here we go. Okay, yeah, running a business for small person. Okay, I think Ob 4, maybe Ob 3, because it's not that big. It's just arms merchants in this country.
Okay. So administration of 4.
Okay.
I'm going to fork in accounting.
Okay.
I'm going to fork in commodities wise, and I'm going to fork in merchants wise.
Right, because you're talking about merchants and commodities, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And supplier wise, because that is always with those two.
They're a good set of wises, yeah.
Yep. So that's 4 advantage die on skills, and then 1 off of normal.
Okay.
So that's 5 of 3. Yes.
Okay, and you get a bonus die when you try. So you say this, you're like, and business going well for these people, and she leans back slightly, and she says, "Well, you have done your research, Mr. Axter. So you know the lay of the land.
I do.
Now what? Tell me precisely what it is that you're looking for. Currently, I have a very lucrative deal with the crown. I'm making, honestly, more money than I know what to do with. What do you have to offer me? And perhaps more importantly, what do you want in return?"
Well, you've been speaking about a urgent export business. But, and you'll forgive me for saying this, but with the connections that you have, they've all been very internal. The growth is quite slow. What I'm willing to offer you is access to a network of peoples who are currently already looking to import, who you can use this excess to satisfy the needs of. I would give you access to such. Many people I know, both in this country and outside, both on the side of holy purpose and those who simply required to defend their lands from those who would seek to defile it.
Yeah, and I think she's hearing you kind of like hint at stuff, and she leans forward and she says, "I don't know what kind of soft people you're used to dealing with, Mr. Axter, but I'm a Carpathian. Be straight with me. What do you want?"
I want to make sure that the Green Mantle Company is only able to serve the nobles for as long as the nobles actually have the interests of the people of Carpathia in mind, which is something that has been unclear recently.
And so what then? I'm to deny them access to arms. We're to pull their claws in what? To extort them, to act our... What you're saying is beginning to sound a little like treason, Mr. Axter.
It is the purpose of those who govern to keep safe the people who they are beholden to. They seem to have forgotten this.
She says, yes, that's the mandate of the Green Mantle Company and the reason why we arm them at all, to prevent things like crime or invasion.
And do you know how much crime has increased? It's been difficult to take exact census because a good portion of the population who would normally be doing them have outright died. But those taking up their pursuits have been more and more bold. In fact, crime has risen X% in the last year in terms of theft.
This totally feels, not to interrupt, sorry, Dave, but this totally feels like we're already having a duel of wits, so we should probably just do it.
Okay.
We should probably just do the thing.
Yeah, right.
Because it's about a belief, it's significant, and it feels like this is something that we should jump into.
Let's do it.
Okay, let me just here. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so
because I suck at these.
yeah, well, you'll just have to try to weasel something out of her. So you can take that +1 die on your other thing and just add 1 to your disposition. From the link test that you did, because I was expecting one particular roll, but then I realized this is probably bigger than that. So add it to your body of argument. Okay, so state your case and what you want out of this. So, what do you want from her?
I want her company.
You want to like buy her out. Okay, so is the plan here to like if you win, she will, because this duel of wits, she'll walk away if you're like, just give me your company and go away. right? Like
Oh,
she
no,
won't accept those terms as even for the duel. She'll laugh in your face and leave. So you want what do you what do you want if you win? Like obviously the prize is her company, but it has to be something that she's likely to agree to. And like at this point, Elf, Andrew, and Blue Jay, feel free to like chime in with ideas and kibitz here. Like you're at the table too.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't want her to go away. I want her to keep managing it. She's been doing very well, especially internally, which is what I'm using it for. But I do want to make executive decisions on it. I want to be the director, not the. Or I want to be like an XO instead of like
Okay,
running.
so you want to buy a controlling share in her like company, basically.
Yeah, basically.
Right, and what she would get then is a big ton of money, a sudden infusion of cash to buy her
Right.
company.
And places to direct that cash because I've offered contacts who are arms merchants, like specifically my relationship with an arms merchant in Stitch.
Well, you can get rid of her, right? Like you can get her out of the country by being like, I'm going to buy your country, I'm going to buy your company, and then I'm going to give you arms dealing. I know you have good skills. I'm going to give you arms dealing to like go out there, go away, leave Carpathia and do this business elsewhere. I'll run the Carpathian arm of the business.
Yeah, like it can go. I guess that depends on who wins this, right? Whether I can totally take control of it and
Okay.
leave the executive decisions to me, or whether she.
Okay. I think just like for now we can work out of the other stuff, but sell me a controlling share in your company. That's
Yes.
it. Like just that. Just you. But I want to buy your company because I have plans for it, and I think you're just hanging out. So what she wants is, let's go, Ilka. Make me a member of the Seeds of Silver. Like she's like, yeah, no. If she wins and beats you, it'll be like, no, you realize that I'm good enough to run my own business. So good, in fact, that you're going to induct me into your guild.
Yep, I am really happy with us.
Exactly. Because that was that extra ob, is to set someone up who wants something that you have. Now, this is a good duel of wits because both of these things can happen. Or neither of them can happen, right? Like we can definitely maneuver around in here. Either way will work out. Something interesting. Yeah. But no, this isn't an exchange because she doesn't want to sell the company and she wants to be in the Seeds of Silver. Lodowick wants to make her, if he also makes her a member of the Seeds, she could become more powerful and get her company back. And like, yeah, it's because we need to figure out what the granularity of this is, what it looks like, because they both want not opposite things, but they want different things independent of one another.
Unsurprisingly, they're both greedy.
They're both super greedy, and they want like, no, you can't have what you want. I want what I want, and to keep what you want.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So we've established the terms. So let's do body of argument. So you can choose to roll coarse persuasion, interrogation, oratory, persuasion, poisonous platitudes, rhetoric, or stentorious debate.
I will pick persuasion, which is at a B5.
Okay. All right. So you're gonna roll that test and then add an extra die because of your merchant wise roll from before, and then forks and stuff as usual. So let's do that first. What is your? Hold on.
Will is 5.
Your will is 5.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So it'll be 5 plus whatever you roll.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
All right. I am going to fork in. Here we go.
Okay.
I'm going to fork in accounting. I'm going to fork in administration. I'm going to fork in not bureaucracy. No, because we're not dealing with that right now. I'm going to fork in commodities wise. I'm going to fork in currency wise. I'm going to fork in haggling.
Yep.
I'm going to fork in merchant wise.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to fork in rhetoric because I've been talking about the entire time I wanted to angle
There is a
toward...
deeper purpose, and yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm going to fork in supplier wise.
Okay. All right. Merchant wise is the only one you can't fork because it was the test prior before. It was the linked one. So you still got 8, right?
I've still got 7 and then the 1 from you gave me before. So yes, 8 modifiers.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and roll.
Wait, can we clarify why he has the +1 for merchant wise when he didn't get any bonus successes on the linked test?
Sorry. Yes. That's right. It's not a penalty. That's right. So you wouldn't get the +1.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
you
why
don't
it's
get
7.
bonuses
Yeah.
if you don't have X.
Down to 7 modifiers.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I always forget that you have to do better than just 2.
Yeah, sadly.
7. That's not terrible.
Do you want to
12
spend a fate and reroll all those 6s?
Oh yes, I do.
Okay. So the reason why this particular section is so important for Ludwig is that he doesn't really have the skills for the moment to moment stuff. So he has to build up his hit points really hard.
Yep. So that's 9 plus my base of 5, so 14.
Okay. Good.
Body of argument of 14, which is actually like much higher than Miro ever got, and he actually had skills to do this.
Okay. So 14 total for your body of argument. Okay.
Does that count as what kind of test does that count as for persuasion?
It just versus 0.
Okay.
There's no ob, so it's just a routine.
It's been fate on it.
Okay, so Ilka doesn't have a ton of stats or any, so I'm just gonna try to like average it out. So Ilka probably has a will of 4. So that's the base. And then persuade definitely. Say persuade of like, say 4.
Seems reasonable.
And we won't give this character any significant traits. They would only be like Pennywise or whatever. I think this is just gonna be two merchants arguing about stuff. But I'll say they probably have like arms wise.
Yep.
Help me out here, Elf, Andrew, and Blue Jay. So she's a noble, but is also like an arms merchant. So probably arms wise.
Well, she probably has merchant wise.
Yeah, probably.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking.
Haggling.
Yeah.
Yep.
Here we go. This is city dweller.
Merchant wise. She's probably got some other skills that don't matter, like noble wise and like for dealing with nobility. I'm not going to worry about those.
Mm-hmm.
Arms wise.
There's for accountant. There's accounting, bureaucracy, write, read, ledger wise. For moneylender, currency wise, haggling, accounting, tax collector has intimidation, accounting, haggling, interrogation. So these are all like options, I guess.
Yeah, I think
commodities wise.
Yeah, it's funny because she's sort of like a lesser version of Lodewijk because she had to take some time to be a noble too. Okay, well I'll give her a +4 on this roll. And base ob is 0, and she's got 3, no 6s. So all right, so she's got half the disposition. She's outgunned. However, you let me just double check here because you failed your circles test.
Yeah, she gets there's a
that sweet M
+4,
Yeah,
I think.
she came in not liking you to begin with.
What?
Circles exponents. Nope. Enmity. Duel of wits +4 die to their body of argument roll.
Okay, plus
So you have to
+4
roll
dice.
them.
Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. No roll.
That is.
No, that's not how that works. 4. There we go. All right, so there's another 2. Okay. All right, I'm gonna save I'm gonna give her two fate and a persona, because she's a relatively important character, and I'm not gonna use it on that 1/6. Right, because that's all I got. Okay, all right. So 14 on 9. Let me choose my stuff first, and then you can choose yours with some help from your friends, and then we'll see.
All right, friends. As much as maybe you don't want me to win this, it's in your best interests.
I am an impartial observer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I recommend point, and then point again.
I also am going to do point.
That is my strategy for every one of these card games.
Look, no. You only need to beat 9, so you just go point, dismiss.
My dismiss,
Yeah,
my dismiss is actually
I like
weak enough.
dismiss.
My dismiss is weak enough that
Oh, do you not have that?
I have less dice even with the +2 from
Oh,
dismissal.
good.
Oh, well,
It's
yeah.
just
It's
point-
Because
point,
dismiss relies on different skills.
but triple
Yeah.
point. Triple
The
point.
only dismiss skill I'd have is rhetoric, which is at 2, and my persuade is at 5. So I'll just persuade again.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you have intimidation, right? You can make her mad.
No, I do not.
You don't have intimidation. Okay.
This boy does not have any skills. You have haggling.
I do have haggling. What can I
Does
use?
haggling apply to any of these?
I
actions?
it does.
I don't think so. I don't see it. No. Avoid the topic's always good.
The
Yeah,
thing
I
is,
don't.
I still
the
think
thing
the
is, I don't
solidest
actually
strategy.
care about being hurt at all and making the compromise.
Okay.
Yeah,
then
Well, the
point,
thing
point,
is, I promise if you have to compromise, it will hurt later, right? Like having her in the Seeds of Silver exposes her to your more closer, more powerful enemies who can use her against you.
That's true.
because she doesn't like you.
Because she doesn't like you, and there are people in the Seeds of Silver who would definitely be like, "Oh, somebody that you brought in out of a obligation. I'm going to use them." Yeah, in the distance. Like obviously, having her in the Seeds is no big deal, but yeah, I promise if she gets successes and gets into the Seeds, then
You could roll rebuttal or is rebuttal the one where you point in?
rebuttal is where you split your
they're-
pool.
Yeah. Attack and
Feel
defense.
confident, and that way you could rebuttal. To mitigate
You can use persuasion for rebuttal as well.
Yep. The other one I've got access to with persuasion is feint, but
That's a chancy.
yeah.
Because if she does avoid, dismiss, or point, then you don't get any test at all. If she does point, which is the most like useful one, then you don't test. You're vulnerable.
Okay, I am ready, so you can go ahead and.
May
Make
I
your
once
choice.
again recommend the triple point strategy?
Yeah. I mean,
For Monsieur's first course, a delicious helping of point, followed by point,
Alright.
and for dessert, a point.
point
So-
à la niçoise, followed by
as much as I think it's within my nature to try and feint at least once, I am going to go on the belief that, based on how we've spoken previously, he has no reason to believe that we are kind of simple people, please be forward, please be to the point is untrue.
Mm-hmm.
And as such, rebuttal is less likely than point in his eyes from her. Which, like, might be wrong, but you've got to try and RP it a little bit
Yeah, of
based
course.
on how you've spoken to the person. You've got to
Well,
take that
also like doing these kinds of things is a good way to use traits and stuff against you, and like because you're still playing your character.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And like if she knew that I had the trait forward, then she might expect point.
Exactly.
He does. So when I do it, it will be a surprise.
Yeah. Ah, yes. Surprise.
Ha! I'm
Okay.
ready.
All right, let's flip over these first ones. Surprising, no one. It is you both make a point. Would you like to go first, or would you like to let her make a point? It all happens mechanically at the same time.
I would like to let her make a point first, just so I can get into it.
Right. So she says to you, Mr. Axter, while I appreciate the opportunity to expand my business, you have to understand it's been in my family for many, many years. It simply wouldn't be wise for me to sell it, and to a foreigner, no less. And I'm beginning to think there may be some legal ramifications of doing such a thing. I'm not sure that it's a business that can, in good faith, be handed over to someone who's not a citizen of Carpathia. These things are very important to us, you understand. And besides... She shrugs. Keeping the business here at home is what means the most to me. Serving my country.
Ah. Well then, there are absolutely certain. What do I want to say? I want to say specific. The word for when you tell someone or show someone something, concrete evidence right now. I'm thinking of the apocalypse.
The apocalypse world thing. I don't know.
There are certain guarantees, I guess. It's not the word I want, the word I'm going to use. I can provide for you. In the deal,
Assurances might be the word you're looking for.
Yes, that was what I was looking for.
Go.
Some assurances that I can give you in the deal that I am putting Carpathia first. As you say, this is not my primary trade, and as such, if this does not go well, I stand to be making a loss, and it is a loss I'm willing to make for the people of Carpathia. I do not believe that the current governance has their best interests at heart, and this is why I've had to take drastic action. Understand I'm not from here, but I've lived here 25 years, coming up on, and I know the land and its people, and I know that this is a desperate time in particular. Like you said, this is a longer winter, but I have experienced those too. I've been here with you. I've been propping up the farms and the farmsteads, the subsidies, so that we can all make it through together and let the land thrive.
Cool. So your point is, I care about Carpathia too.
Yes.
I understand and care about it as well. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Yeah. So you're both making a point where she's like, "Yo, Carpathia," and you're like, "Yo, I know."
Yes.
Okay. Cool. So let's roll. For her, I think it's pretty much just going to be the same pool whenever she uses persuasion. So same forks that she used from before, but +1 for role playing. And point v point is nothing. It's just a standard test. So you're both just wounding each other's.
Yes.
All right. So she does.
Ooh, nice roll.
Yeah, not bad. I'm gonna spend that fate while she's still even in the thing, while she still
Sure.
exists. So let me roll. I'll use one of her fate. Oh, almost a 6. Okay, so 7.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So like this isn't in great. It's almost like a.
That's pretty good.
I don't know if they have. They don't have these in America because they don't have a queen. But in Canada we have these things called crown corporations that are like companies sort of pseudo or semi-owned by either the government or like they belong to. And so this is kind of what she's saying is she's like, the business arrangement goes deeper than that, and I can't just break it. Like I can't just be like, here, I'm passing this over. Sorry, I didn't ask the king first.
Yeah, it's beyond business and into like politics and like standards and expectations of how practice is going to be.
Ethics, but not by the way we would understand them. But like it's So she's kind of like saying like she can't.
She has a divine and moral obligation to continue performing business with you.
That's right. It's the same kind of horseshit people trot out when they're like, well, we can't have a female prime minister. Look at the Constitution, which we wrote.
Yes.
Go ahead and make a roll there, Lodwick.
Okay. I have slightly different forks this time. I think based on the point that I made. I'm still going to make the point. I'm still going to fork in what I had in terms of administration. I'm going to fork in commodities. Going to fork in haggling. Going to fork in rhetoric. Absolutely, definitely.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because that's the most like a politician that Lodwick has ever sounded, right? Like you're like, I'm not from here, but I live here and I understand its people. Carpathia first, like. Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to have currency wise, and I am also going to fork in for the first time, I think ever, peasant wise.
Peasant wise, right? Because you're like, this is about the people.
Yeah.
I dig it. All right, do some damage.
Base of 0. Oh, that's not very good.
It isn't. It's true. You got 1 6 in there.
How am I doing on fate points? Only 2?
You got 2. It's okay. You got all the time in the world to finish her off. That'll bring her down to 5.
Yeah, that's true.
Gonna do that?
Okay. Yep, I'll do that.
Okay. All right. Good. And that's actually a nice segue into the next one. Let's flip this over.
Interesting.
So she's gonna obfuscate. So if she can beat you, then your point does nothing, right? That's how this works. And if she beats you by more, it'll slow you down on your next one. So you can make another point, and then I'll make her obfuscation. She's gonna make an ugly truth roll.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I like that. Furthermore, tradition, while I understand to be important, is a luxury for those that already have what they require, what they need. And at the moment, we're talking about people who do not. While I understand it is important to you, you are letting it hold you back as a business person. Whilst your family's name is important, being able to provide for future generations, both in your family and without, is something that is best served by looking at the times, adapting, and making sure that your traditions can continue into the future, as opposed to being buried in all the snow.
Okay. So your point is like, get modern, do the thing, stop holding on to the old ways. It's just going to kill you and everybody that you love.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't roll my role-playing dice on the
okay.
last one.
Yeah, roll one more. Okay.
It wasn't good role-playing.
Evidently. You got a 50-50 chance of being good at role-playing. So she says to you, you may not think it, Mr. Axter, because you've come here from somewhere else, somewhere that doesn't have the kinds of traditions that go back generations like we do. We in Carpathia are not so eager to throw them away, and one of our very strongest traditions is that we do not trust outsiders, and it seems for good reason. What you're talking about is more than simply business. You're talking about taking weapons out of the hands of the royal guard and putting them in the hands of townsfolk. Townsfolk who, yes, are a part of the great chain of Carpathia's well-being, but who do not understand the weight, the significance of these weapons. I do not just make implements for killing. I make swords to put in the hands of those that have the divine right to wield them. And interfering with that divine right, that's only going to get you killed. You don't want to be executed, do you, Mr. Axter? So her point is like, yeah, business. I don't care. You're going to get your head chopped off.
Totally fair. All right.
And she's not really making a point. She's just trying to like scare you basically into being worse at arguing, which she's underestimating you, but that's a thing. Okay. So this is just a versus test, same as before. Why don't you make the roll? Actually, let me go first. Cause if I'll set the ob for you. Cause then if you beat her, you'll be able to,
right.
It's whatever you have over the top. It's all or nothing for her. Either she cancels your action or you basically you're gonna probably beat her in this round.
Yeah.
So this time she is leaning into the Carpathia stuff. I think it'll probably be similarly. I'm gonna give her a similar number of dice, but basically the ugly truth here is that like if this doesn't like if I do this thing, we're both gonna get in huge trouble potentially. And I don't trust you to protect me. And also, like, I'm a Carpathian. I care about my people, and this is what I'm really doing. So I think she's pretty good at ugly truth, but not as good as her persuasion. But I'm going to give her more forks because this is all her immersion stuff and some of the other stuff. So I'm just we'll give her some forks. This may be her last roll, so I'm going to add her. I'm going to add in her persona point here. Okay.
Sure.
Here we go. 4, honey. That's not good. Okay. I'll reroll that 6 with her last fate too.
Okay.
Okay. So I got a 5.
There you go.
All right. And
So then Dave has to roll the persuade test, or was that
Yes.
his?
No. So Dave
Yes.
does make the persuade test, and what it is here is if Dave gets less than,
Five.
if Dave ties, then the point does nothing. It just cancels the turn. If Dave beats it, the whole thing, the obfuscate, doesn't matter, and she'll take 6 hits and she's out. And if and that's it, because you can't beat her without also defeating her in the argument. So.
Okay.
So you're rolling persuasion. You've got your +1 die from role playing.
Yep. I'm forking in the same things as before.
Yep.
So we're looking at 7, then including the role-playing dice. Goes up to 8. But I'm also going to fork in this time because I've been tailoring the points that I'm making so that I can leverage these I don't normally get. I think either Lord-wise or court-wise to talk about tradition.
Yeah.
She is a lord.
Yeah, Lord-wise for sure. Not court-wise so much, because the court is the ongoing kind of yammerings of the court. No offense, Alessandra.
What they are. Let's be super real about this.
They're important yammerings.
Okay, and this is important to him, and he recognizes that she's shown a sign of underestimating him.
Yeah.
Therefore, he will call upon his reserves of Arthur.
Nice.
I'll spend those.
Okay. And it's roll against Ob 5.
I'll just on 5. Right, nerd, time to get obliterated. Yes.
There
you
it
are
is.
Obliterated.
Okay, cool.
Cool, those 6s as well. If I had more faith,
I mean,
I'd just...
so you're gonna put she's gonna make a steel test, right? Because you beat her. So you beat her by she's at -4, I think now.
I'm going to spend it because I think I see both persuasion and resources are the things that, and circles are the only things that are ever going to Aristea.
Okay.
Ever.
Yeah.
So
So roll 4 more dice.
Let's put that to 5.
No. Okay.
It is worth it though.
All right. So let me make a steel test for old Ilka here. At Ob 10, I think, because she's gonna have a 6. Okay, where's Ilka? Here she is. Oops. All right. So Ilka is gonna make a steel test. I think her steel, I don't know, let's call it like 5.
Seems fun.
Okay, so for 8 actions, hey, that's a common amount of hesitation today.
You know, you can do in 8 actions.
Yeah, now you can guess the spell on her. So yeah, strip her of her name, quick. Yeah, so you're just like your point, and I don't think this is just like stunned, like, oh my god, like, she's just like thinking, like she takes a long drink of wine, and it's like this is the stand and drool where she's like thinking, like contesting with her greed and her like, maybe this is an excuse for me to get out of here, right? Like her loyalty to Carpathia as an idea versus her loyalty to like money as a thing that she can get lots of. And like she has family here, but she could buy new family elsewhere.
Yeah, and so as she's thinking, he takes the opportunity and he says, as I tried to make clear to you, I care about this place as well. More than just an opportunity of a place in strife.
Yeah, and it's like she's not even listening. Like you just get to gloat for a minute because you're just like, oh, I got you, I see you.
Yeah, and I think he makes the point because I was thinking about it because she brought up like the divine right of the people, and I'm not from here, so I have the exact opposite view on this as Miro did. So the last time that I kind of made one of these points when I won, talked about God. I'm still going to talk about God. What did I say? From the outside, people have seen this place. The death of your God as evidenced by this long winter. Just because he has died, you do not all need to suffer the same fate. We can work together, save people, save your family.
Okay, so I'm gonna make a suggestion for the deal here. So you have to. I think if you give her what she wants, she'll give you what she wants, right? It's half exactly. So the concession is, yes, I'll sell you a controlling share in the company, but it has to. She doesn't want to be shamed, right? Her noble, like her name still has to be on the company. It still has to seem like it's a. But I think also she wants to leave the country. She wants to get the fuck out of here. She's done with Carpathia. So her pride is such that you can't publicly take. You have to be a silent partner, but she's basically just going to hand it over to you and leave.
Totally fine. Totally fine.
Yeah, like you ended up buying maybe more than you expected because you bought out her morals. And I think that's an important thing for Lodewijk to see, that like anything about, I don't know if you like admired her, like, cause you had this moment of like, I care about Carpathia too. And she immediately is like, you know what? Fuck Carpathia. I'm out. And I want that to be something that Lodewijk notices that money has the power to do, that you like just bought away her morals.
No, absolutely. It's going to be like, as she walks away, and I like turn to one of the people who like normally doesn't pay any attention to me, and I say, case in point, nobles. Don't care about you at all.
Yeah, one of your guards is just like, sir. But yeah, like you work out your deal over dinner, but for her, she basically will do what you want as long as you work with her to save face and to get her out of here. And that she gets to be she'll be out of your hair, but like you're gonna still have to act from the shadows.
Yeah, and this has been something that Lodewijk has been. He's shown that he's willing to do. He was willing to do it for Alessandra, but then she was like awful to him, so then he doesn't care anymore. So, yeah.
But Alessandra's a PC, and she's hard as fuck compared to this wimp.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So we're in the situation of solid compromise. So she gets something akin to being a member of the Seat of Silver. Is it like the Seat of Silver is paying for her retirement?
I mean,
well, they set her up. They set her up somewhere else.
It's not necessarily that she gets something. It's that like you can grant a concession or agree to an additional related.
Right. It doesn't have to relate directly to exactly.
No.
It'd just be this other thing.
So,
cool.
The related condition is related to the entire argument, not necessarily her like request.
Yeah. So what I'm thinking here is that she gets, and part of the like the role and stuff is that she gets to keep her dignity at court, right? That y'all come up with an excuse for her to operate the business elsewhere, but she gets to leave and go be in the Lapis Federation. And you like set her up, right? You know people, and you put her away somewhere else, and you send her away with what I'm about to ask. You're going to need to make a resource test to buy the company. You're going to need to be able to do that, right? She's just agreed. Sure. She's agreed to the deal, but now you got to pony up the cash.
Yeah.
So you're buying the contract, and this actually works better for you because unless the crown goes looking, they're going to assume they're still doing business with a noble, right? It also means that if you ever get caught, that's a very big deal. Like if you get caught operating this company pretending to be her, and the crown finds out, that is like very criminal. That is like messing with their internal security. The king will have you executed for it.
That's the thing, though. What are they going to do about it?
I got all your swords.
If I break them.
Yeah, they still have swords.
They have some swords,
like that they own now.
Well, you'll have a bunch of swords, but no one to use them. That'll be the next thing.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Basically, all that's happening here, the biggest thing that's happening is that Lodewijk is making his life more dangerous in pursuit of what he wants.
Yes.
Yeah, these first few steps are very precarious.
Yes, because this is, yep. And I think that's what she sees, right? That Ilka's like, you're right. Things are kind of coming apart here. And if you want to get your head chopped off, and you know what? If they find out I was part of this deal, if you rat on me in prison, it's fine because I'm going to be 1,000 miles away in the country you came from, living at large. So under an assumed name.
Mm-hmm.
All right. How much does a royal arms deal contract, like the business, cost Lodewijk?
Not $1 million, but still a lot.
A hefty amount.
So for everybody's reference, sample resource obstacles are on page 367. And maybe
Spend
we give this some time. Maybe we ponder it. Let's, because this is a very important role. So let's take a break, and then we'll do some more court stuff. I want to give Joy a chance to squirrel around while things get real at the court. And we may not even get to the buying this episode, but you did resolve your belief. So we'll. I'd like to take some time to figure out a good ob for this, like buying the whole business now that you have the opportunity to do so. Okay. All right. Cool. So let's take a short break here. And when we return, we'll see just how serious this revolt at court it goes. I'm excited. Oh, I'm so excited. It's going to be good. All right, stick around. We'll be right back.